The boy was only 12. His test papers were drowning in red FS, each one cutting deeper than any punishment could. And yet, the worst wound came from his father, a billionaire who looked at him with cold eyes and said just one word: worthless. Tutors had come and gone. Specialists had flown in from around the world. Nothing worked. Now, his father's patience was over. Boarding school, he muttered to his assistant. Someplace that doesn't tolerate failure. The boy overheard. To him, boarding school wasn't a fresh start. It was exile, a place for children forgotten by their families. That night, he sat alone in his giant room, clutching a crumpled test paper, whispering to himself, maybe I really am broken. But life had other plans. The next morning, a new maid arrived. Her name was Marissa Johnson, a quiet woman with tied-back curls and a worn handbag. To the other staff, she looked ordinary, just another replacement. But she carried something they didn't know, a memory of her own struggles, and a method her late mother once used to save her. By afternoon, she was dusting near the study when she heard the sound, an eraser scraping, a frustrated groan. She peeked in. There he was, the boy, shoulders tense, pressing the pencil so hard the paper nearly tore. His eyes begged the words to make sense, but the letters slipped and danced away. Marissa froze. She knew that look. It was the same one she once wore as a child. Quietly, she stepped into the room. You grip that pencil like it's a sword, she said softly. No wonder the paper's fighting back. The boy blinked. No one had ever spoken to him like that. She didn't push further. She just smoothed the paper and went back to her work. But that night, he carried her words to bed like a secret treasure. For the first time in months, he fell asleep without feeling crushed by failure. The next evening, Marissa sat beside him. Instead of scolding, she traced her finger under a line and read it slowly, patiently, letting the words breathe. She had him repeat after her. At first, the letters jumbled, and his cheeks flushed with shame. See? I can't. I'm broken, he muttered. Marissa leaned closer. You're not broken. You just see the world in a different rhythm. My mama once told me the same thing. And she was right. Little by little, she taught him her mother's way, tracing letters in the air, whispering sounds instead of rushing, breaking words down into shapes and rhythms. And then, one night, he made it through an entire sentence without stumbling. His eyes widened. I did it. Marissa smiled. See? They don't hate you. They just needed you to slow down long enough to understand them. Weeks passed. Every afternoon, when the mansion grew quiet, Marissa and the boy met in the study. There were tears, frustration, even slammed fists, but she never rushed him, never shamed him. Slowly, his handwriting steadied. His confidence returned. And for the first time, he began to look forward to learning. The whispers in the kitchen grew. A maid teaching the billionaire's son? She'll get fired if the boss finds out. But the boy didn't care. He lit up whenever he saw Marissa, pencil sharpened, ready for their next session. Then came the test. No expensive tutors, no specialists. Just a boy, a pencil, and the lessons whispered to him by someone the world never expected to matter. He finished the paper, hands trembling but steady. This time, he carried it to his father himself. The billionaire, buried in contracts, glanced at it with disinterest until he saw the mark at the top. An A. Not a pity grade. Not a curve. A clean, undeniable A. For the first time, the father was silent. His eyes lifted toward the doorway, where Marissa stood quietly with her cleaning rag still in hand. He finally saw her, not as a maid, but as the person who had done what money never could. That evening, he called her into the study. She braced herself, expecting anger for stepping out of line. Instead, he placed the paper on the desk. You saved him, he said. Name your raise. From now on, you're not the maid. You're his tutor. Marissa nodded, holding back tears. From then on, the boy thrived. His teachers whispered in astonishment, "Is this the same kid? He used to fail everything." At home, the mansion no longer echoed with disappointment. It filled with laughter. The boy proudly pinned his work to the fridge, even the imperfect ones, because now he knew progress mattered more than perfection. And his father, a man who once believed money could fix everything, finally learned the truth. Brilliance doesn't grow under pressure. It blooms under patience. Marissa had given him more than grades. She gave him proof that he was never broken to begin with.